Thunder, but perhaps best known for his role as Wesley in The Princess Bride. Please help me welcome Cary Elwes.
Wow. Wow. Hello, Portland! Wow. Wait a minute. All the way back there? Can you guys hear us back there? Let's hear you guys back there! Wow. Wow. What a reception. My gosh. Okay. If you guys can't hear us in the back, just yell, speak up. Just like in Life of Brian, okay? All right.
Hello?
Can you see us? Should I stand? Okay, all right. What, up here? No. Behind me? Oh, hi, what? Wait a minute. Look at this. Wait a minute. What? That's crazy. You know what? I should write a book about this and I'll call it 50 Shades of Grey. Wow. Wow. Hi, you guys? Wow. Okay. Well, we definitely have to keep this open, right? All right. This is going to be an interactive experience. Thank you all for showing up. My gosh, I am humbled beyond belief. Seriously. Seriously. Humbling. Okay. Go ahead, stand. Yes, I think they need to see you.
Okay. Some questions. Are you ready?
I think so.
The sword fight scene in particular is incredible. Did you have much training before you came to the set?
I had absolutely zero training before I came to the set. I wasn't even left-handed. I had a tough time driving left-handed. Forget sword fighting left-handed. It's funny, you know, when I started this movie, I was 23 years old. Wow, thank you. 23 years old, and kind of an ingenue, and Rob Reiner, the director, took a very big chance on me, because today, I don't think any studio would take that kind of a gamble on an unknown 23-year-old English actor to be in a big Hollywood blockbuster movie. And he supplied us with the very best trainers. He came up to Mandy and I, Rob Reiner, at the very beginning of the movie, and he goes, "I've seen a lot of fencing movies, and I noticed a lot of them have stunt doubles. That's not really Errol Flynn in the wide shot. I want this movie to be different. I want it to be you guys." So he hired two of the finest sword trainers available in England at the time. One was Bob Anderson, who was an Olympic fencer for Great Britain in the 1950s. And the other was a fellow by the name of Peter Diamond, who was also a great swordsman and stuntman. And they, for those Wikipedias out there, are the guys who did all the lightsaber sequences for the Star Wars movies. Yeah. Yes. And they'd worked with Errol Flynn and Burt Lancaster and so on. So they told Mandy and I at the very beginning of rehearsals, they said, "Look, we're not going to lie to you. We don't think we can get you to be proficient right-handed, forget left-handed. So we're going to have to," we've asked the producers to move the sword fight to the very end of the movie to give us enough time to train you. But we can't promise that you're going to be good enough in time. I mean, that was the challenge. And Mandy, who heard this, was like, "Yes, we are." It's typical Mandy. And so we trained for about 8 hours a day, 5 days a week in pre-production. And then once we started shooting, Bob and Peter were always off camera, waiting with swords in their hands. And the minute that Rob Reiner, the director, yelled cut, they would just grab Mandy and I and go and rehearse. So while the rest of the cast were hanging out, having a good time, eating craft services, we were always training, Mandy and I. So we worked very hard on it, and I think it turned out pretty good, right? Yeah? So yeah, we had a good time doing it. It was a lot of hard work. Very hard on the thighs. Very hard on the thighs. What's that? What? Oh, thank you. You want to see my legs now? They're not quite as good as they were back then. I can't quite do all of that anymore. Anyway. Yes.
Yes. There is one particularly arresting story about filming with Andre. When you were up on the wall after getting the pill from Miracle Max.
Yes.
Can you tell us about it?
Yes. Okay, Andre the Giant. Who here, raise your hand or yell if you know who Andre the Giant is. Okay. I guess that means everyone. All right, so Andre was, as you can imagine, was easily the guy that was the most popular on the set. Not just because you had to talk to him like that, but he had the biggest heart. I mean, really. He would give you the shirt off his back. It would be enough for 5 people, but he'd still give it to you. And Andre, my very first scene with him was on the wall, as you say, on the parapet of Florin Castle, which we built out of plaster and plywood. And it's the scene where I'm mostly dead. And yes, and Montoya is there, and Fezzik is there, and I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you know the lines better than I. Feel free to, if you feel like it, it's totally cool. I think Fezzik has the first line. He goes, "I wonder how long it takes before it takes effect." Something like that. And Montoya goes, "Your guess is as good as mine." And then I come to and I say, what do I say? I beat you both together or fight you both apart? Yeah? I'll take you both apart. Thank you. See, I knew I could, there's no way I could have problem getting corrected. So, I beat you both apart, I'll take you both apart? Thank you. And then Fezzik says, "I guess not very long," like that. Well, Andre didn't get to the word long before he emitted the most powerful fart, I swear to God, known to mankind. I was just ear-splitting. Somebody timed it. It was 15 seconds of wind, and I can't even begin to. Here's something he'd obviously been holding on to and just could not hold on to it any longer. And everyone thought there was an earthquake going on. People were grabbing the set like that and was shaking. And I looked over at Andre, and he had this blissful look of relief on his face, like he'd been just relief, pure relief. And for some reason there was steam coming out of the top of his head. I swear to God, I don't know why. I don't know, it was the wig he was wearing and the heat, the fart, I don't know. I couldn't look at him, so I looked over and I noticed the sound guy who had the headphones off his head to stop his eardrums from bursting. And it's still going on, it's 15 seconds, it's going on, it's just massive. You could hear it in Beijing. Finally the fart ended. And, you know, it's not like by the way, we've all experienced giant farts and accused other people of giant, that's a giant fart, dude. This was a giant's fart. Okay? And what's so great is that here in this country, what's so great is when someone farts, usually so there's a response like, "Dude, really? Did you have to really? Come on." But in England, they're all so polite that, when someone farts, they're like, looking away and looking up, things like that. Finally, it was over, and you could hear a pin drop, right? It was just silence on the set. All the way back there. That's awesome. And finally, Rob Reiner, can you guys still hear me? You guys rock. So finally, Rob Reiner was the first one to speak, and he said, it's classic, I'll never forget, he goes, "Hey, Andre, you okay?" Swear to God. And you know what Andre said? Andre goes, "I am now boss." First day work, I mean, that slayed us for that. That was the first day working with Andre the Giant. I mean, classic. Yeah.
And moving on, let's talk about Billy Crystal's improvising.